When I talk about skins in this video, let me make one thing clear. I am not talking about the free skins. This is specifically about the eternal skins and a few of ultra skins. So anytime I mention skins in this video, just know I am referring to the eternal and ultra skins. I never really cared about skins in Bloodstrike for a long time. I played with default weapons and some free skins, but one day out of nowhere, one of my friends decided to gift me some skins. I didn't ask him or anything, he just did it because he's a good friend. Now you might be wondering, why am I even telling you this? See, I had been playing without skins for so long that I didn't think they made any difference until I finally started using them. Around the same time my PC ran into some issues. You guys might remember when I stopped posting for a while. Obviously I couldn't play Bloodstrike during that time, and as a result my skills were gone, or at least that's what I expected. But when I came back, something weird happened. My gameplay didn't get worse, it actually got better. My movement in particular had leveled up to a point where even I was surprised. That's why I posted a movement guide and the feedback was insane. People were saying my movement in that video was better than what it used to be. And here's the kicker, the only major change I made was switching from the default melee weapon to the butterfly knife skin. I'm not saying the skins made me a god tier player overnight, but I can't ignore the fact that my gameplay improved dramatically after I started using them. But it's definitely sus, this isn't just about the butterfly knife. Any paid skin for any weapon in Bloodstrike seems to give you small yet significant advantages during gameplay. Now before you jump in and say that's not true, skins don't change weapon stats, let me explain. Yes, the stats of a weapon remain exactly the same whether you are using a skin or not. But this isn't about the stats, it's about the design of the weapons with skins and how that impacts your gameplay experience. Weapons with skins feel completely different in the game. They have smoother animations, better transitions, and even more satisfying firing sounds. On the other hand, default weapons feel, well, clunky. Their animations are not as refined, the transitions are jerky, and overall they lack that polished feel you get with a skinned weapon. This is not something that's easy to notice unless you play a lot. But once you do, you can't unsee it. Let me give you a specific example. Take the AUG with the Eternal skin and compare it to the default AUG. Open the scope and fire a few rounds with both versions. With the Eternal skin, the recoil animation feels so smooth and controlled, making it easier for me to aim. The default AUG on the other hand has a clunkier recoil animation that throws off my aim ever so slightly. It's a small difference, but in fast-paced game like Bloodstrike, even the smallest improvements can make a huge impact on your performance. But it is not just about aiming, this applies to every part of the gameplay. Reloading a skinned weapon feels faster and more responsive. There's smooth transition from reloading to firing. With the default weapon, that transition feels delayed, like it's dragging behind. Even something as simple as pulling out a weapon is noticeably better with a skin. The animations are fluid, polished and satisfying, whereas the default weapon feels rough and unrefined. This is not just a one-off thing either. You can test this with any weapon skin in the game, and you'll notice slight improvements in the movement, aiming and the overall responsiveness. It's like the devs put in extra care to make the skins feel superior in every way, and not just visually but also in how they perform. Now I'm not saying skins will instantly turn you into pro, but they do give you a slight edge. It's those smooth animations, better transitions and overall polished feel that make a difference. It's small but real, and here's the thing no one talks about. Everyone's so focused on the stats and looks that they miss how much these details actually matter during gameplay. So don't just take my word for it, go ahead and test it yourself, pick your favorite weapon, compare it with and without skin, and really pay attention to how it feels. You'll see what I'm talking about. Mark my words, skins don't just make your weapon look good, they give you an edge. No matter how small, that could change the way you play. Back in the early days of gaming, skins were simple. They were just there to change the color of your weapon or maybe add a basic design, similar to the camos we have today. They were purely cosmetic and no one ever thought twice about whether they gave players an edge. But fast forward to now and things are completely different. Skins today, especially in Bloodstrike, aren't just about looks. Some of them feel like they are giving players an unfair advantage, and the crazy part, the devs know this. Yet they haven't done anything to address it. Why? Well, you'll find out later in this video. It's not like I played with a skin once or twice and thought maybe it is just my imagination. No, I've encountered this so many times that it's impossible to ignore. Every time I play with certain skins, I notice improvements in my gameplay, whether it's smoother aiming, better movement, or more responsive controls. But the moment I switch back to a weapon without a skin, it is like those advantages vanish completely. There is no visible stats improvement. It's not like the weapon magically gets more damage or accuracy. It's all about the feel, the animations, transitions, and responsiveness. It's something that's happening behind the scenes, and honestly, it leaves me disappointed every time. Skins are supposed to be about style, not performance. There's more. Have you noticed the feature in Bloodstrike where if you kill a player who's using a skin, you can pick up their weapon and use it with the skin? Now let's stop and think for a second. Why is this feature even available? The player didn't pay for the skin, so why is Bloodstrike letting them play with it for free? The answer is clever marketing. It's a calculated move by the developers. By allowing players to temporarily use premium skin they didn't pay for, Bloodstrike is giving them a little taste of the experience. They are letting you feel the smooth animations, the satisfying responsiveness, and the overall polished gameplay that's come with these skins. And once you had a taste of how much better the game feels with a skinned weapon, it's hard not to want one for yourself. It's a psychological trick to attract players and push them into buying the skin. And this strategy isn't unique to Bloodstrike. Games like Valorant and Counter-Strike use the exact same feature. They let you pick up skin weapons during a match, knowing full well that players might get hooked on the enhanced experience and end up spending money to get that same feeling again. It's a smart tactic, no doubt, but it also raises some interesting questions about fine line between fair gameplay and aggressive marketing strategies. If someone wants to buy skin, then let them buy it. After all, it's their money and they should be able to spend it however they want. But giving player advantages through those skins is what feels truly unfair. Skins should be about cosmetics, pure and simple, but when they start affecting gameplay, that's where things cross the line. And that's something we as a player can and we should call out developers to fix. I've always said that Bloodstrike isn't pay to win, at least that's what I thought. That was until I experienced it myself. I realized the small advantages they give are real, and it made me rethink my whole perspective. It's not pay to win in the traditional sense, but it sure feels like it when you are playing against someone with a skin and realizing they have that extra edge. Even with all these issues, I kept playing Bloodstrike. I decided to ignore the whole skin advantage thing for a while and stuck with the game just like many other content creators. The truth is, I was getting good views and that was enough to keep me going. I thought, well, I've got skins and they give me some advantages over players, why not stick with it? Despite being disappointed with some aspects of the game, the views were rolling in, so I figured I'd keep pushing forward, just like every other content creator, squeezing out as much content as I could until the game finally dies. But then something happened that really changed everything for me. I saw the Claymore Eternal skin. If you buy this skin, you get extra damage and not just a little extra damage. This skin also lets you deal damage from a larger distance. Now think about that for a second. Imagine you are in a 1v1 fight with a guy who's using the Claymore Eternal skin and you are just using basic melee weapon. Who's gonna win that fight? It's pretty clear the guy with the Claymore, he gets that extra damage boost and he can hit you from a distance. At that point it hit me, this game was officially pay to win. There was no denying it anymore when skins not only make you look good but also give you advantages in combat. That crosses a line. The game was no longer about skill or fair play, it was about who could spend the most money to get the upper hand. And honestly, that was a huge letdown. Now some of you might be thinking, oh, it's just one weapon that's pay to win and no one really uses melee weapons anyway. But let me tell you something. Mark my words, this is just the beginning. Bloodstrike devs are going to keep bringing out skins with advantages like this to attract more players into buying them. The Claymore Eternal isn't a one-off, it's just the first of many. From now on, we can expect to see more skins that offer gameplay benefits, not just cosmetic upgrades. The sad truth is, this is their strategy to make skins not only look cool but also make players feel like they need them to stay competitive. And the worst part is, it's working. Every time they introduce something new with these hidden advantages, more and more players are going to buy them. So don't be surprised when we see more pay-to-win skins popping up in the future. This is just the start and it's only going to get worse. At this point, I started thinking, why is Bloodstrike doing all of this? So I dug deeper into the game's history and what I uncovered was honestly shocking. From the very beginning, it seems like Bloodstrike was always meant to be a pay-to-win game. Why? Because NetEase wasn't focused on Bloodstrike itself. They were just using it as a cash grab to fund something bigger, Marvel Rivals. Think about it, Marvel Rivals is a much bigger title than Bloodstrike, right? It's a game with a huge potential audience, so NetEase needed money to make that happen. Bloodstrike was never the main focus, it was just a means to an end. They launched Bloodstrike to collect enough revenue, and as the game progressed, the need for money grew. So they introduced pay to win mechanics like skins with advantages to attract more players and get more cash flowing. The goal? To fund Marvel Rivals. But here's the thing that blew my mind. When you look closely at Bloodstrike, it's clear that NetEase did not invest much into it all. In fact, most of the game is just recycled material. The entire game feels like it was built on the cheap, nothing was really original. The landscapes, trees, skies, most of it was just copy pasted from Unity's asset store. Even the characters, rather than hiring artists to create fresh, original models, they reused or modified old assets. Everything in Bloodstrike feels like it was quickly thrown together to create a game that would make money. And that's all it was ever meant to do. When Bloodstrike launched, Marvel Rivals wasn't even out yet. Bloodstrike was the stepping stone. The game was designed to fund the development of Marvel Rivals. They literally used the money from Bloodstrike to fund Marvel Rivals. This whole time, it was all part of a bigger plan to make money for the game that they really cared about. At this point, I have come to a clear conclusion. Bloodstrike has turned into nothing more than a money grab for Marvel Rivals. It's a complete cash grab, a pay-to-win disaster, and honestly it has no future. This game is done and I am done with it too. I am quitting and I am doing it for the sake of my future self. I don't want to stuck sinking with this game as it crashes. I bet we are all going to see it sink in the near future, and I am not sticking around to just milk content until it dies like every other content creator out there. So I have made my decision. I am switching my content and I have already deleted Bloodstrike. All the memories I had with it gone. NetEase has disappointed me once again, just like they have with every other game they launched in the past. Bloodstrike is just another casualty in their long list of failed projects. From now on, you won't be seeing any more Bloodstrike content from me. I want to apologize to you all for sticking with this game for so long, but honestly, it's time to move on. This game will be filled with hackers, pay-to-win players, and no real future. It is just a sinking ship, and I am jumping off before it goes under. So that's all I wanted to say. No more Bloodstrike content here. I'll be back with something better, something worth your time. I hope you guys understand, and I'll catch you in the next video. Until then, peace out.